Welcome back to Royal Productions, where your mind is your crown. My name is Louis, and basically what we do here is we share crypto news, we do the deep dives into blockchain, and we also cover world events that might pertain to the market and interfere with it. Remember, always do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, so make sure you understand what being your own bank is and holding your own keys. Okay, we cover that. This is a new industry, and it's important that you get involved now and test my theory. When you hear about some of this news, when you hear about blockchain, when you learn about cryptography and you go and do your own research, go ahead and ask a regular person on the streets and tell me how many people actually know what this information is about. So if you're here, pat yourselves on the back and understand that you're ahead of millions of people. But it's important that you don't just know this stuff, that you put this knowledge into action. Okay, I'm not telling you what to invest in. Just be aware of what we bring you here and the news, and you'll probably be able to see through the BS if you're smart. All right, without any further ado, let's get right into this market. So the total crypto market sitting at 2.15 trillion. Bitcoin sitting at 62,000. It's fighting at 60 level. Ethereum 1700, XRP 111, $1.11. Hyperliquid 69. If you guys want to see the rest of this, pause it. All right, let's get right into these articles I have for you guys today. So the first one is eToro invests in on-chain derivatives platform extending as brokers race into DeFi. So eToro is now in this race. All right, so we'll cover that in a second. Securitize tokenized 295 million of its stock on Solana and Avalanche amid NYSE debut. So remember, these are signals and you guys pay attention. Look how much was just put onto Solana and Avalanche. We're going to cover that next. All right. US Treasury sanctions over 100 ISIS-K crypto addresses that move over $1.4 million. SBI crypto to shut down mining pools that hold roughly 2% of Bitcoin's hash rate. Ondo Finance debuts SEC aligned tokenized stock model with BlackRock ETF Micron shares. And last thing I have for you guys today is India's issued notice to Telegram and Signal over users features amid impersonation concerns. So this is similar to what happened on WhatsApp, and I only throw this one in there at last because these are some of the dangers we have to be aware of, or you have to be aware of if you're new into crypto. Okay, we're covering all these articles coming up next. Alrighty. First article I have for you guys is eToro invests in on-chain derivatives platform extending as brokers race into DeFi. So let me slow down really quick. And for those who are new, I'm going to explain what DeFi is. But remember, you always have to do your own research and go and look at these terms. If you don't understand them, just pause the video and go and look at the terms and go understand it. Because you have to understand, once you understand this, you can understand the rest of this. If you don't know what eToro is, they're basically an investment brokerages company, and they do a lot of that. But anyways, there's a video right here if you guys want to watch what exactly is, for those who are more of a visual learner. Okay, those who are more of a reading type of person, you can read this, but let me read it for you for those who are listeners. All right. A decentralized finance DeFi uses blockchain technology to enable peer-to-peer financial transactions without traditional intermediaries like banks. So you can read that over, understand what it means. Okay, it's up to you to do this research. Remember, your mind is your crown, so you have to understand this. I can't just be speaking to a wall. Moving on. Okay, so this is huge because eToro has been huge in the brokerage, sector for a long time. They kind of got hurt when Robinhood came out and allowed people to invest by themselves without a middleman or broker. But the reason why they're pivoting, and they have to, is because of this right here. We are seeing a growing demand from our users for seamless access to DeFi products. So DeFi does exactly what they do, but better. If you guys here, let's go back to this right here. So basically right here, DeFi offers global accessibility, lower fees, and transparency, but is highly vulnerable to hacks, fraud, and regulatory challenges. So most of this is already getting taken care of. Well, we cover some of the hacks sometimes, we cover some of the fraud and the regulatory challenges, but these things are being worked on. This is still a baby. Like when we look at this total crypto market, it's only 2 trillion. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next article I have for you guys. So Securitize tokenized 295 million of its stock with Solana and Avalanche amid NYSE debut. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys heard about this. This is huge. Consensus Miami 2026. But what's the key takeaway here is to look at Solana and Avalanche. Okay, these might not be winners, but if they are working with them, Securitize, Securitize, I'm trying to be fancy and shit. Anyway, excuse my language. Securitize, then you have to understand that maybe these are some good companies to look into. I love Solana, I love Avalanche, okay? But it's up to you to do the research, all right? Read the articles, they will be linked down below. But BlackRock's named in here, ARK Investments, yeah, okay? These are big players. Remember, follow the crumbs until you get to the loaf, all right? That's how it works. We're moving to the next article. Let me share something with you real quick. The other day, I always be listening to motivational stuff and reading and stuff, and it was one of those things where it's like a lot of people think that like I'll start going to the gym when I get fit. That's like saying I'll start investing once I get rich. It's only for rich people. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you have to lose in this market to win. You have to get that out of you, that fear of losing the money you work for and hardly earned. You know what I mean? So you just take some time with yourself, be patient, because this is some crazy times we live in. All right. U.S. Treasury sanctions over 100 ISIS-K crypto addresses that moved over 1.4 million. And I believe we covered something like this on Wednesday, was it? But basically, it might have been Wednesday, Thursday. Go check my page. We covered something like this with getting involved with certain platforms and talking to people and things of that nature. So basically, the ISIS allegedly used the media wing of to solicit donations to Tron, Monero, and Bitcoin. Those are the only ones that I seen named. If there were more named, let me know. But this is what I'm talking about as a signal. When there is a platform or a coin that's allowing this to happen, it's an issue for the whole world, for the whole ecosystem. So look into Tron, okay? Look into Monero, and you already know how I feel on this channel about Bitcoin. It's here now, but I don't think it's going to survive, especially if it's allowing this stuff to happen. Like it's kind of hard to sanction Bitcoin. It's hard because no one's in charge of Bitcoin. There's no one really running it, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But at the same time, when we're talking about regulated markets, they're not going to just allow something that's not regulated or has any type of like backbone or structure to it. Bitcoin has a structure. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about when it comes to regulatory real case and real use in the world. Once we get regulatory framework, Bitcoin is going to be obsolete because it doesn't align with the framework of the rest of these tokens and coins that they agreed upon. But anyways, remember, do your own research, understand what's happening. But basically, they froze these wallets. They probably took the money and now they have it. But well, yes, they sanctioned them. Yeah, here we go. All right, moving on. SBI Crypto to shut down mining pool that holds roughly 2% of Bitcoin hash rate. And this is like just more and more stuff keeps coming out about Bitcoin. There's some good stuff out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a pessimist, but I'm optimistic to know that this is not going to work. You know what I mean? I'm optimistic knowing it's pessimistic. It's bad. You know what I mean? I'm aware of that. I'm 100%. Anyways, SBI Crypto will shut down its Bitcoin mining pool of July 31st, 2026, ending a service that accounts for approximately 2% of the network's hash rate. Okay, so remember, if you guys don't understand what these words hash rate mean and things of that nature, you can head over here, okay, type it right into here, and boom, it'll give you what you need, okay? But I think this is pretty crazy. SBI, I believe, is also is it Japan? Hold on, let me double check. Hold on, there's something. Yeah, they're Japanese. There's just so much I cover. Sometimes I get confused, you guys. It's a lot. But here, there was something about so SBI's crypto's mining pool, according to the data from the hash rate, accounts for about roughly 2%. The firm did not disclose a reason for disclosure in its shutdown notice, and it did not provide a current hash rate figure for the pool. So it's very questionable, y'all. And what's happening with Bitcoin and stuff right now, we're having this pump right before 4th of July. Y'all stay safe this weekend. I just think that there might be a little bit more to this, and just be prepared. Be prepared. All right, moving on. Ondo, another signal, y'all. Another signal. Ondo Finance debuts SEC aligned tokenized stock model with BlackRock ETF and Micron shares. That right there is enough. You guys don't need to see this. But what you do need to see is what's right behind him. What does that say? Wall Street 2.0. And when we talk about Wall Street 2.0, this intertwines with blockchain. This intertwines with cryptography, tokenized securities, everything of that nature. So you see this small number right here? Go and do some research and look at the total addressable market of the world, and you'll understand what's going to happen to this market cap. It's just like it's basic math, and I think that's the problem with, you know, us Americans, is our schooling system sucks. But I'm not here to rant about that. All right, moving on. Okay, here it is right here. So this is just to bring up awareness about when you're getting into this stuff. That's why I don't have no WhatsApp or any Telegrams or any group chats. Like, I was thinking about getting a Patreon going just for my rants and stuff like that. But the thing about this is it's okay to talk to people about things. It's okay to get information and share things. What's not okay is just believing somebody when they say something. And I always tell you guys out here, like, do not believe anything I say. The way I read these articles, it aligns with my paradigm, my thinking, my reality. So you have to figure out what it means for your reality. So always do your own research before you invest. Talk to a professional if you have to, but stay away from some of these groups that make you pay for alpha, quote unquote. There's some good ones out there, but it's very rare. And don't give no one your bank details and stuff like that. This is infancy stage. And that's what I'm saying. If you come this far into this video, you're going to be ahead of millions of people in 5 years, just because you're aware of this information. You know how to use the blockchain. Right now, like when I first started with this, it was very hard to get in and swap, and okay, I need to catch this project, and this project is so much easier now. Just like Robinhood made it easier for people to invest, I think in the future it's going to be a snap of a finger where you can just use an AI to do something. And we already see models of that coming out. So, and we cover that here. So make sure if you guys enjoy the content, you hype, like, and share with others. My name is Louis again, and I'm out of here. Peace.